Good morning, students. In the preceding lecture, we discussed The Sniper, written by Lamb of Folote. It is summary and it's some of the areas. And today, we will try to ascertain certain issues. We will discuss them, which are essential in order to understand the lesson further. The first and the foremost issue is the significance of the title. Whether the title, The Sniper, is apt and is suitable for the lesson or not. We will try to see it. Now, readers, look up on your screen. You will try to understand the significance of the title. The name of the main character and the title of the story are named Sam. Now, if you see, the protagonist of the lesson is the Republican sniper, and protagonist is the main character, that is none other than what is called a Republican sniper, and the title of the story or named Sam. And it is because of that particular character, your story has the title The Sniper. The author deliberately does not call his main character with any specific name, as he wants to generalize his subject of the story and related it to a sniper who could be any soldier fighting a civil or a military war. Now you can understand through this particular line that author did it deliberately only to generalize his subject of the story, and his idea is that it could be any soldier. It is not a specific soldier. The title personifies violence caused by human indignation. The title is the reflection of all those soldiers who are trained to kill and taught to show no mercy whatsoever to their enemies. When soldiers are indulged in war, they are simply taught, or beforehand in training, certain trainings they are taught that a soldier has to fight, whether a civil or a military war, but he needs no mercy upon his enemy. And that is what happens in the story. The title personifies violence caused by human indignation. The title is the reflection of all those soldiers who are trained to kill and taught show no mercy whatsoever to their enemies. They are projected as larger than life. Having chosen a young boy, probably a student, as the sniper, the author contradicts such projections of soldiers as warriors and martyrs. For him, they too are common beings with fears, have urge to live, and have dreams and aspirations like any other common person. Now, if you talk of these soldiers who are involved in some sort of war, you will come to understand they have common fears like us. They have urge to live. They have certain dreams. They have other aspirations like any other person. War in any form, when erupts, does not spare anyone and even does not see through the blood. Now, normally you can understand war is not considered to be something very good. It is not an omen of good. It is always considered to be a omen of bad because it doesn't spare anybody. Whether there is child, there are adults, there are sire people, it didn't spare anybody. That's why it can't be the sign of good. The sniper fulfills his mission but has to pay a huge price for it. Now, the Republican sniper fulfills his mission. His mission is to kill the enemy sniper, and he did it, but he has to cost a huge price. Caught in a do or die situation where his life depends on the death of his enemy, he does not hesitate and gets his man. Seeing him dead, he boasts of his wit and valor, only to discover that he has killed his own brother. Now, when he killed the enemy sniper, what happens there? He boasts of his wit. He is involved in some sort of ego, and is proud that he is a good fighter, and he killed. And then, when he discovered that he has killed his own brother, this was not a win, this was considered to be a big loss. Even before knowing that the enemy he killed is his own blood, he whispers to himself that he might have been in his company before the split in the army, and that he would have become the target instead of him. Now, in the story, you can easily identify this thing. It is possible that both are in the same army, and then you have a split in the army. You have two groups. One is considered to be Republicans, and another is considered to be free fighters. And that is, and then both the groups, otherwise brothers, they are involved, they are indulged in some sort of war, and they fight with one another. That's why you have in the story a brother has basically killed a brother. This humanness gets him into remorse. When he killed his brother, what happens? He is involved in some remorse. There is, okay, in the wild nature of the sniper, you will come to understand that humanness emerges, and he curses everyone and the war too. And he is cursing everyone and the war too. The sniper assumes greater significance as it describes the tale more of a soldier than of a fighter who has a soul and an urge to live. Now, that's why this particular title, The Sniper, is apt, and it is significant to the lesson, because he is the main character, he is the protagonist of the story, and the entire story revolves around him. That's why you can say the title is quite significant. Now, another issue that is again essential to understand is simply seen in Dublin, as you understand from the first two paragraphs of the story. Now, in first two paragraphs of story, in other words, what is called the setting of the lesson, or you can say how the lesson begins. Now, this is, that is displayed on your screen. We will try to understand it. In the center of Dublin war during the Civil War, in the center of Dublin during the Civil War, which took place between 1990 to 1922, the Republicans and the Free Staters were fighting over the division of Ireland in the Northern Ireland and the rest of the country. They were fighting constantly, and the heavy guns rattled. Right? Now, this happens during 1990 to 1922. It's a very long war. This roaring broke the silence of the night. Roaring of, guns, roaring of weapons. A sniper was clearly seen looking for his enemy. Now, you are finding in the beginning a sniper is simply, looking for his enemies, and he is, staying somewhere at the top of a building. The surroundings were horrible and violent. The surroundings are very, very horrible, and they are violent. They show violent nature. You have a lot of, gun rattling sounds that are going on in the entire Dublin. It was a dark night of June, and you are fighting at the same time. It is the month of June, and you have, in the month of June, you can understand the nights, and it was very dark. Dublin lay enveloped in darkness, and in Dublin you find, because here in these lines you have to understand that the setting of the lesson is basically the night hours, right? It was the dark night of June. Dublin lay enveloped in darkness, and moon was shining on the dark waters of the river Liffey, right? Now you are finding the moon is shining, but where is it shining? It is simply found on the dark waters of river Liffey. Why dark waters? Because darkness itself is considered to be bad omen, and it is itself considered to be, the sign of something, bad going to happen, and that happens in the story. The fighting was constant in beleaguered four courts. Now this is, if you talk of beleaguered four courts, this is a very large building where this fighting was constant, where this fighting is going on. This is basically the setting. Now in the setting, you can understand in the beginning two paragraphs, you understand that the fighting is going on between the Republicans and the Free Staters, and at the same time you have to understand that the author has deliberately shown the entire, the readers night hours, which is considered to be a bad omen, right? Okay, now let us try to understand certain characters. Now first, the enemy sniper. By the enemy sniper, you simply mean a soldier that is the member of Free State Army. The enemy sniper is the sniper's man opponent in the story. Sniper's man opponent. When you say sniper's man opponent, you mean Republican sniper's man opponent. A member of Free State Army. He still shares similarities with the sniper. Now there are a number of things that are similar with one another. If you talk of Republican sniper, or if you see normally, Free State sniper, you have a number of things that are, similar to one another. The two men are engaged in the same role. Both have the same role. The role is simply to fight with one another. The enemy sniper too is a good shoot, enough so that he wins the respect of a sniper by the end of the story. Now he is considered to be a very good shooter, and he is praised by the another sniper, by the Republican sniper. His physical presence on the rooftop across the street further reinforces the idea that he is a mirror image for the sniper. He is certainly considered to be the mirror image for the Republican sniper, because both are performing their duties on the rooftops. One is, on one building, and another is quite opposite on another building. They are, performing the same sort of role, that is to fight with one another. The enemy sniper wants to kill the sniper. Now if he wanted to kill the sniper, he appears to have advantage after shooting and injuring the sniper. Now what he did, when he simply smoked cigarette, what's called a Republican sniper, and smoked cigarette, at that time, the because of that spark, what he did, he's a good shooter, he has the advantage to shoot Republican sniper. He makes a fatal error, however, when he falls for the sniper's ruse. When Republican sniper used ruse is simply to deceive somebody. He made some sort of trick in order to deceive the Free Stater sniper. At that time, he falls, under a fatal error. One, he thinks he has killed the other man, and you understand that he has perhaps killed the Republican sniper. The enemy sniper stands up on his rooftop. Now he stands up on his rooftop in order to, tell the readers that he has won the game, thus making himself a clear mark, right? The sniper shoots him, and the Republican sniper shoots him, and he falls to the street below dead. After that, the sniper, along with the readers, discovers that the two snipers are brothers. Now you have one more character, and a very short character, that is the old woman. The old woman is that particular woman. She points out the sniper's location. She points out the Republican sniper's location on the rooftop to the soldier in the turret. The Republican sniper shoots and kills her. And when the Republican sniper understands that she is the informer and a worker for Free Staters, he shoots her and killed her, and she falls in a drain. Okay. Now the man character, the sniper. He is again considered to be sniper, but is the Republican sniper. By this sniper, you understand, when you say man character, when you say protagonist, it is considered to be the Republican sniper. Now very important character, and because of this character, the lesson has got the title the sniper, and we will try to see what he did in the entire story. Now see this. The sniper whom we call the hero of this story was a Republican soldier fighting for the cause of seeing both the parts of the country united. Now what Republicans are doing, they are fighting in order to see both the parts, northern and southern, they should become one. There should be some unity between the two, but the free staters are fighting in order to liberate their part. Okay, he was very innocent looking young man, Republican sniper, as his face was the face of a student. And in the story, you understand that his face is considered to be the face of a student. Now, what is student's job? Student's job is simply to learn things, to seek education. Now, his face was looking like that. He is not considered to be, a killer. He has that type of vision. He was thin and ascetic, but his eyes had a cold gleam of a fanatic. Now you are finding one thing, if you talk of young people, they are emotionally more, you can say, sound, rather than, their logic works less, and that happens in the story. We are finding that he was thin. If you talk of his structure, he is thin, and he is ascetic at the same time, but his eyes had a cold gleam of a fanatic. But from another side, you're finding him, a fanatic, an emotional man, right? uh, his eyes were deep and thoughtful. Now eyes of that particular sniper is very deep and thoughtful, the eyes of a man who is used to looking at death. Now soldiers are simply, when they are fighting one another, you can easily understand at that time they are looking just for their deaths. He was very patient and watchful. He has a lot of, patience at the same time, but at the same time what he did, he is watching the entire area, the entire street as well. As we saw him on the rooftop a whole day of hot June month. Also, he had eaten nothing since morning. Since morning, he is totally hungry and thirsty. Then he got a chance to eat his sandwich almost in the evening time. Until then, he was simply performing his duty. He was not taking any, even a long breath, right? He's doing that type of duty. He was adventurous, that he can be seen when he knowingly lit the cigarette and risked even his life. Now, this was the blunder that is undertaken by this the Republican sniper, when he smoked a cigarette, and because of that spark during the night hours, risked even his life. The sniper was a witty and a quick in action. Now he's very witty, he has a lot of wit, he is logically sound person, but at the same time, what he did, he is quick in his actions. He made a plan to trick his enemy. What is in the text? It is called the ruse, or you ruse, right? He made a plan to trick his enemy, putting his cap on the muzzle of his gun. Now he put his cap on the top of the gun and pushing it upwards over the parapet wall, so that the enemy sniper could easily identify it as the head of the sniper. His enemy, seeing the cap upwards, realized that the sniper was trying to look over the wall, right? So he shot a bullet which pierced the cap in the center. Now his ruse works. Now what happens? The enemy sniper shot a bullet which penetrated the cap in the center. Now the enemy sniper understands that he had killed what is called, the Republican sniper. He thought that the sniper was killed and came out from the cover. Now he came out from the cover. Then the sniper could easily target his enemy and killed him with his revolver. Now what Republican sniper did? He targeted the opponent, what is called the free stater a sniper, and killed him with his revolver. Besides many other quantities, the sniper was, besides many other qualities, the sniper was a man of emotion. He was a man of emotion and human feelings as well, which he expressed when he saw the corpse of his enemy lying on the ground, which was uh, the shuddered mass of flesh and blood, right? When he found that, at that time, what happens to the sniper, that is beyond one's understanding. Watching this whole scene, he was bitten by remorse. He was bitten by remorse, And we saw him hating the war. We saw him, he is basically cursing the war and the people involved in it. He is cursing the war and the people who are involved in it. Finally, we saw him as a very unfortunate brother who had killed his own brother unknowingly. Readers, for today it is enough. I'm leaving you here. We'll meet you in the another lecture. Till then, goodbye.